What's going on, everyone? Today we had some choppy movements inside of the SPY, so we're just going to talk about that and where the prices are probably going to end up going next week. Anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, but let's get straight into it. Right now, as you can see, we closed the day off at $566.76. So we have closed off at that price, which was, fairly decent. If we come back over here to look at the 15-minute chart, you can actually see we had some good movement coming into the day, right? We had some good movement. We started out a little bad, but then we just kept pumping from there. And then we got rejected here at the 567 level here on the SPY. So we were really just barely touching 568, went right back at that resistance line. And now people are wondering what's going to happen when we go into the next week. So anything could happen over the week. Trump could finish some of those tariff deals he was talking about with Europe. Anything could really happen. Maybe a deal with Canada or Europe, or maybe China comes out and says, hey, we got a deal. But if one of those things happens, obviously we're going to have a huge pump going into the next trading day. So if something like that happened over the weekend, we would immediately be going up to $576, and literally we would just be killing it. We would just be going crazy. But let's talk about what is more than likely going to happen. We're more than likely not going to get a big deal like China, but we might get a Europe deal. Who knows? Like, we might get a Europe deal. But we also have a lot more going on than just that, because on Wednesday, we are expected to have the next Federal Reserve meeting for the interest rates. And most people understand that they're probably not going to raise rates just because Trump wants them to raise rates, right? It doesn't work like that. Now, maybe if Trump paid Jerome Powell, on low, then maybe that'll happen. But I don't think Jerome Powell is just going to do that. He's been talking about how he wants to keep things, leveled for right now. So, anyways, it says if you're waiting for borrowing costs to come down, the Federal Reserve is unlikely to make those dreams come true at its next meeting on Wednesday. So they're more than likely not going to do it. But hey, there's always the possibility that it could happen. But they're more than likely not going to do it. Even in the last meeting, he's mentioned more than likely they're not going to happen in this meeting either. All right. Well, part of the reason why the stocks went up today is because we had the jobs report come out, and it came out better than what they expected. Not better than the last month, but better than what they expected. So it says Friday they added 177,000 jobs in April. They just announced that today, which is Friday. And they said that's a drop from the 185,000 jobs gained in March, but it beats the prediction of 135,000 from economists. So that is a good thing, but still, we still have a lot to worry about, especially with these tariffs. So that's what we're really battling right now. So going into the Monday trading session, let's just say if we don't consider anything on the side of like, the Europe doing some deals with Trump or China doing some deals with Trump, if we don't look at any one of those things and we just purely look at the technicals, technically we should be having that pullback going into the Monday session, right? And if we go into that Monday session with that pullback, then we're probably going to end up doing the same exact thing as we did today and then start the rise. It might not go all the way back to 558. I'm just kind of showing back there where that support is. But we also do have a minor area here where we had resistance. So we can use that as support, coming back down to like 563 or 564, and then rallying up from there. So I think next week we should probably be hitting 576 sometimes next week. So yeah, and especially when the interest rate meeting with the Fed comes up on Wednesday, we should probably be up there by then, or maybe that's what pushes us down when we do get up there. So I do believe by then we're going to be around 576. But yeah, there's always that possibility of a pullback. But I still believe even if we have that nasty pullback, we're still going to end up right back up there. And that's really where we've been heading this whole time. And it's getting there. It's getting there. And the real question is, once we reach that level, what's going to happen? Me personally, I believe we are going to get some type of nasty pullback once that happens. Now, it's just me. Some people don't think that's going to happen, because if you think about it and we do break past that level of 576, there's little to no resistance all the way up until about 591, 592. And then from there, we have resistance leading up here to 612, which is pretty much our previous all-time high. And that's why I don't think that it's going to be this just a straight shot upwards, because we still have to worry about the 592 level after we pass 576, because again, there's little to no resistance from 576 up to 592. So it's not just going to be a straight shot up, but it's definitely going to make its way up there without having any major pullbacks once we pass 576 and continue to rise. That's if we pass 576 and continue to rise. Because if not, what we're looking at here is pretty much making our way up here, right? We would be making our way up here to 576, pulling back a little bit here, and then all the way to like 540, 543 or something, 540 or 551, and then making our way right back up, and then eventually breaking out. So eventually we're going to break out to the upside here. But the real question is, if we get rejected at 576 and we break down, are we going to go below this trend line? Because we respected this trend line here and we respected this trend line here. But what if when we break out and get rejected at 576, we have a harder pullback and we do not respect that trend line and we end up breaking it? If that ends up happening, we have to realize where we have after that. We have 534 support. We have around here 530, 534. That is one of the supports that we're going to be looking at. And then if we are to break that, then obviously we have down here about 508. That is where we met the trend line at the other time. So that would be a heavy support for us. And if we broke that, then we also have 480. Obviously, it doesn't go straight down like that. There's always choppiness in markets like this. So we would end up seeing something like this, just chopping through the markets, up, down, and eventually leveling out, but it takes time for these type of things to happen. It takes time. So a lot of people are also predicting that June is going to be when we start feeling the pain of the tariffs. And that makes sense because we have January, February, and March as the first 3 months of the quarter, right? And then we have April, May, and then June. And then that's when we're going to know what happened all April, May, and June with the tariff stuff. And then after that, we'll have July, August, September, and then we'll know what happened in those months. So really June, we're going to be seeing some pain going from June into July. So who knows, maybe we pull back a little bit and then we have a nice pump leading into June and July. And then we see how bad things really are. And then we have a pullback from there. So there's a lot of possibilities that can happen. But what I'm really just waiting for Monday is to see that initial pullback. We might go up to 576 and then have that initial pullback. So I'm really betting on that initial pullback, and that's why me personally, I'm doing puts right now just to see where things are going. I already have my puts open. A lot of people are scared to open it from go over the weekends, but personally, I do it because I'm not going to overextend myself. I'm not doing extremely large portions. I'm not putting my whole portfolio right in on the weekends. So puts, that's what I'm doing. A lot of other people are screaming calls right now because they're like, no, we're going to keep going up, and up. For the last 8 days, 8 to 7 days, we've been up literally, and it has not stopped. So 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 28th, 29th, 30th, the 1st, the 2nd, and that's like what, 8 days, 7 days, and then going into Monday, the 3rd. Well, not the 3rd, but you already know. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. You usually don't see almost 2 weeks straight, well, 1 week straight of nothing but gains, and then a whole second week of nothing but gains. Like, it usually doesn't work like that. So I think next week, even if we do have a nice breakout, we're still gonna have that pullback. So I still think that pullback is gonna be great enough to make some money off of some puts right around here. So we'll see exactly what happens. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. What do you think is about to happen in this market? Go ahead and let me know in the comments. Anyways, hit the like button and subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. As always, I'll be back with another video.